What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Angler podcast. Today, we are live with two special guests, that we are going to go fishing with. We're going out to unknown waters on unknown vessels that we've never been on before, and we're going to go apparently really fast and catch some really big fish. So I'm stoked for that. We've got David and Austin here from SUP Customs. Guys, how you doing?
Good, guys. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. For chat, real quick, I know we were like a minute and a half late. The reason we were checking audio. We wanted to make sure audio was working properly. So that's what happened. Whatever, we're here. Paul, you're here too. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Been a long week. It's going to be like 2 extremely long weeks, but I'm here for it. It's
4.
all good. Yeah, 4. But it's like, it's all good. It's like, it's hard to complain when you're like, oh, I get to do all my favorite things for like a month straight.
Except sleep, which is also one of my favorite things.
I hate that.
Well, I do. It's a waste of time, honestly. If I didn't have to sleep, I could do so much more. All right. Well, we got these very special guests that we're going to talk to today. We're going to hear all about SUP Customs. If you guys haven't heard of this before, make sure that you go over on the Instagrams and the TikToks and the Facebooks and all that stuff and check these guys out because they're doing some really cool things. And then go check out SubCustoms.com. That's the website, right? It's SubCustoms.com. Make sure I send them the right place.
Yeah, you are.
Got it. Cool. Got it. So, oh man, we're getting feedback now. Can you pull your phone back a little bit? It's like the sound coming from your speakers going to the microphone. This is what we were working on before the show, you guys. I think we're okay now. So let's dive in. We'll do a little fun Q of the D. Warm the show up, you guys. Let's do it. So my Q
of the D. This one is directed at the Florida folks because this is something that's everyone in the Midwest would say. My favorite fish is either walleye or bluegill. It's pretty consistent. 80% of people, that's their favorite fish to eat. My question to you guys is, what is your favorite? What fish do you like to not only, it's like the confluence of like most fun to catch, but also really good to eat? Because you got a lot of options. So which one is like, love catching them, a fish I would not want to give up, but also delicious to take home?
I'll let you take this one on first.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, snook.
Really, snook over redfish?
Oh yeah. Wow. Now we keep one a year because they replenish redfish a lot in snook, but snook. I mean, redfish. I know what everyone says, but we eat that so much.
Oh, fair enough. You get jaded.
Yeah. So
that's how I feel about bluegill. When people are like bluegill's my favorite, I'm like, I've eaten 40 billion of them, so it's like they are great, but.
I've heard that about bluegill. I have a lot of friends that will go out into the ponds and catch like 15 bluegill and fry them up.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
they're super.
That's the way to do it.
Really light, really flaky. It would be. It's like the if it was like related to chicken, it'd be like the chicken nugget of like fish variety. Like kids freaking hammer them.
The juicier white meat, like the better flavored chicken.
Well,
like it's
here on our coast, we'll have cobia come in 2 feet of water. I've come up upon some cobia that are at least 50 pounds, so like 5 foot long cobia, and like 8 feet of water right off the boat ramp kind of thing. Yeah. So like great eating and extremely fun to catch. I mean, we'll fight a cobia for an hour on light tackle. It's so much fun.
Yeah, what's nice about here is like you have a few options every time you go out. You can have 5 or 6 different options. So
that's why I asked, because it's like that answer never would have picked it. Not in a million years. That would have been like I never even would have thought of it. It's because so outside of like what we're used to. So we were just in British Columbia, so on the other side of the United States,
completely opposite.
We were way over there, and caught a whole bunch of fish that we have never caught before. Didn't know some that I didn't even know existed. And then we're over here eating like fried fish. And I'm like, oh, this one's delicious. This one's delicious. This is like the best one I've ever had. Oh my God, this will not end. These are all great. And so yeah, I'm just curious because like again, we have good eating fish, but like everybody has good eating fish.
Yeah.
There's
what people realize is all of these good eating fish for us is in 3 to 6 inches of water in the backcountry. Like we don't have to go. A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to go 10, 20 miles off here. I mean, everything's back. I mean, you can wade fish for them, which is, the guy we're going with is just a wade fisherman. So yeah, we get surprised too. So
respect. That's awesome.
That's cool. A funny story about this, you guys. I was just I had a little family visit yesterday. We went out to the only restaurant in my town, Paul, because we We have one spot. But yeah, so my aunt and uncle, who I haven't seen in like 9 years, are from my wife's side, and they fish the Gulf like a lot. So they're like right near Tampa. They go out there a lot. I was telling them, I'm like, yeah, I'm going there. And they're like, oh, well, you got to go 30 miles out if you want to catch anything. And I was like, I don't think that's true, but sure, just rolled with it. But yeah, like the fact that all that stuff is right there. You can do the inshore fun stuff. You can go in the flats, you can go backwaters, and then you can also go way the heck out there if you want to. But we're not doing that, you guys. We're going to rip around and have a fun time. Rip around and find out, Paul. Is that the next one? Do we make a SUP Customs crossover decal? And it's just like ripping on a SUP Custom, and it just says rip around and find out. You guys down?
The AI rooster tail will be like 66 stories tall.
I love
We're
it.
sketchy. I mean, that's kind of what made us popular is when people look at our videos, they're like, rock. Oh, just kidding. We went over it. Like, you know,
cleared it.
That's, you know, we're the guys that had to test everything, right? Like, and sometimes we'll just test stuff by like, hey, let's see what happens to our front bottom protection if we just hit a rock. So let's
I was gonna mention
just go hit a rock.
Y'all should have seen it when we were testing bottom coating for the first time. We had to test it. So some of those videos were crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all have fun. You're gonna see some stuff. So.
Oh, we're gonna participate in some stuff because I don't know if you know this about us, but we are also sketchy.
I don't know if we're gonna put your life. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna put your lives on the line, but we'll get close. We'll get close.
No.
Honestly,
we will put our lives on the line. We got this.
It won't be you.
We're naturals at that. Don't worry.
Yeah, our natural territory is testing stuff until it breaks and then getting into trouble.
Yeah, I love breaking things.
Yeah, we've broken a lot of stuff. So.
Cool. So most of the time on accident, but like I like your method.
I was like, we didn't plan on that, but it's good to know what it can handle.
Yeah, we got to test this out. Let's just run over these rocks as fast as we can. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, before we dive into the show me, real quick, couple of news noteworthy pieces here. We had an amazing members only live last night. It was fantastic. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. It was really cool. But we will do another one August 12th. So 8/12, it's Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Just wanted to call that out. Paul and I are going to ICAST. We're going to be fishing with these guys. We're going to talk about that a little bit on the show. But we'll be at ICAST all next week. So there is no live next week. But we might go live, maybe Instagram or YouTube for a little bit just for funsies. I don't know. Maybe from a party, maybe from the Hobie party, Paul, and dinner with Malone. I don't know. We got a lot of stuff that night. We'll figure something out. We might hang out with you guys, but there's lots of videos from ICAST coming next week. So stay tuned for that. All right, Paul, let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, so
I like Paul's first question. I think you should read it the way that you wrote it so that it lands the best. Go ahead.
It's the only way to really do it. So when I write these, I always start with like the same like 10 questions, and then I just like slice out the ones that people already know the answer to. So question number 1 for everybody is, who the fart are you?
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. So,
and by who are you, I mean not only who are you as individuals, but like what is SUP Customs? Like if someone's on the show right now and they're like, I don't know what we're talking about. That's really what the question was supposed to be getting.
I thought we were going real deep, Paul. Like spiritually, what are you?
I need to be able to draw your soul.
What is your composition?
No. I get it. A lot of our customers are buying our skiffs and motorized kayak versions because they've actually been following him since he was 13 years old. So what happened to me, I'm going to vary the saltwater area we're in, very shallow, very skinny. I mean, shockingly skinny. Like, if we have these negative tides, we're -6 inches low, like especially in the wintertime, you'll go out to the mouth and you won't see water for a mile. Wow. So the water goes back or the water goes out. Yep. And in our area, when it goes back, I mean, we have some areas to where, like in February, we had some Texans come in to test out some boards. And it was February, cold. All of our fish go to the backcountry, not to die, to stay. They need to stay warm in that mud. We pulled 80 redfish out of a hole 20 feet wide. Now we were probably catching the same wet redfish over and over.
Oh my God.
I mean, they caught so many redfish. So he was never into sports too much. He was into fishing. And in our area, I mean, I took out the bottom end of a boat. I was like, there has to be a better way than entering Oceanside. And then
so you were like, you was that an outboard?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Boats. I mean, you go to any marina around here and you'll see broken props just lined up on the walls in hundreds. Like it's just, and everyone around here, a lot of the local guys won't really have technical skiffs either. They'll have their like a bay boat or whatever, Carolina skiff to take out like during spring and summer, like I did. I had a Carolina skiff and a canoe.
Those are so sick.
But then they'll have their mud boats for the winter, you know, and they'll have that kind of setup. Now, as he was growing, I'm like, well, we got to get back to these fish, right? Can't do this again. We looked into mud boats, stuff like that. I mean, a mud engine's only going to take so many oyster bed hits and won't just clear. I mean, when I say we have oyster beds that expose 4 or 5 feet in the air, I mean, in low tide, they're exposed 4 or 5. Like it's just nuts. Crazy. So, but you'll get
which
the back,
is like a razor blade tower.
It'll cut through
from a Saw movie.
But you'll get a mile in the back country, and in any bay that has 2-3 feet of water left in it. I mean, we've flown the drone, have counted 400 or 500 fish on top. Wow. And we'll catch every slam imaginable. We'll catch. I mean, there's times we've caught 150 fish out of one bay. But again, I had all the boats. I had 9 kayaks. We're actually at my parents' house right now picking up some boards that you'll be on because my parents are on these things too. So you guys are borrowing my parents.
Let's go.
But we had to find a better way. But in my area, we had 9 kayaks, so there's nothing wrong with it. But back then, no kayaks were motorized back then. This is years ago. So I'm at the point to where we need to put it in the backcountry, but like if we need to rip it because we know where the fish are 3 miles away, we need to rip it 3 miles away. I don't have 2 hours to travel and get there. I'm wore out. So we came across Live Water Sports paddleboards, the only catamaran paddleboard out there. It's made of fiberglass. I'm being a boater. I understand that. It's a catamaran. I understand that. It's 700-pound capacity, only weighs 65 pounds. I'm like, awesome. What can we do with this thing? People have tried to motor it and whatever. Yeah. So we're like, I can launch this roadside. I can see how this very technical hull design works, right? Very technical. It wasn't a gimmick. It just wasn't a floating log. It is actually made by a gentleman that was in the catamaran racing industry that still, I think, holds the world record in catamaran racing speed. Built this Live Water Sports design. And then one thing led to another. We slapped trolling motors on it. Well, it could do more. We slapped those little Chinese Amazon motors on it.
1.5.
Yeah, those lasted like 3 months and the handles started breaking. Like, look, can handle that. And then 14, 15 years old, his page started kicking off. And then Live Water Sports would send people to us how to DIY it and jerry rig it. And I'm like, all right. But then about 3 years ago, we're like, this is getting so popular that we're ripping 20, 23 miles per hour with this cat hole with just a 6. Most people need a 10 horsepower to do that.
Insane.
Even with a 2.5, we're getting, 10, 12 miles per hour. Like, because this cat hole just slices. And then one thing led to another. And we just said with Live Water Sports, look, if we can really engineer something that turns this thing to an actual skiff, not like Amazon starboard plates, not some, because even then we couldn't run in 6 inches. We had to sink the prop. We couldn't solve the cavitation as hobbyists. But then we just had this journey about 3.5 years ago. Just, we were like, let's see if we can really, really engineer something that works, that actually, when you hit that throttle, you bounce up on plane. And if you have 2 inches, send it. Like, let's see if we can make one of the skinniest running vessels in existence, but yet so stable, because when they designed that hole, they didn't realize a big air pocket would form. And we don't need side-to-side stability. We actually have a massive air pocket that builds up in the middle of this thing. So when you guys, I want to ask y'all to get on the side of it, jump up and down 2 feet in the air and land on the side. And I promise you, it's not going to roll on you. And you'll see me doing that on our page, I had a 71-year-old man out here, do a test run last week, 240 pounds. His first board, I did put stabilizers on it because when he says he's 71, he's showing up. I don't know what I'm getting into all day long. I don't want to be out there. But then he jumped on my 6, and that guy's doing donuts around me midday. But the technology, you don't believe it at first. The technology, you actually have to be on this thing while we do full day test days, because you've got to be on this thing 45 minutes before you even start trusting the technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, because anything else you get on the side of it, you thinking you're rolling at 240 pounds and the thing just sucks down. That's kind of the story. So now you buy the board from us. We bottom coat it. We manufacture the motor mounts for trolling motors and back plates. And what's nice about it is it's not one setup. You can start with a trolling motor and add everything else later.
Yeah.
You can start with a paddle board and have it for the family on the beach and just get tarpon off the beach here. And then, hey, in the wintertime, I'm going to order some motor mounts. You know, it's a flat deck with 12 tracks on it. Yeah. So when we saw that, we just went all in as a hobby, father and son hobby, and then turned it into a business. So
that's first of all, amazing story. Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Second of all, you just dropped so many like technology bombs on us for what you guys are using. You're like, oh, and there's this amazing thing. It's, you know, part of the package. And we're just like, what? So if you saw Paul and I's face, anybody watching?
I'm a nerd. I'm a very much skinny.
Welcome to the den of the nerds.
Yeah, you're good, dude. You're in the right place.
He gets the views. I get, you know.
It's a great part. Figured out how to cup a 6 horsepower prop like they do for massive offshore boats. Actually cup them so it grabs more water.
That's how we solved the cavitation. But it took 1 year and searching the whole country for a guy that would cup that small a prop for me.
My outboard has a cup prop and a cavitation plate on it, and it's a 6 horsepower engine. Yeah.
We call guys and they laugh at us, and then they see the videos and you're like, oh, okay.
All right. Maybe less funny than I thought. Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah, you don't have that on John boat. You know, you don't have that on a scooter. You have this on something I've never seen before.
Well, we have the kitchen table in Houston. I wonder if we could do this. Like right now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You should see my plan. You should see my plans for duck season right now. I have a mud motor being designed for.
We have
Dude.
What?
No. I have electric jack plate.
Wait, what?
That was my next thing. We have an electric jack plate to lift it up.
Yeah. I just don't. My brain doesn't stop. So,
dude, that is sick.
I love the wheels are spinning. Ideas are.
We showed you a little notebook of ideas.
That's
and then sell it for millions of dollars.
If you guys have not seen, a mud motor, just imagine if you took. Yeah, you just imagine a motor like a standard boat motor.
Blender. It's a blender.
Take all the outside off of it, so there's nothing covering it. It's just an empty motor. Then you got to raise it up so it's almost completely sitting inside the boat. And then where the prop would normally be, you extend it out 4 feet. Yeah, and then that's your motor. And the most important job you have is not going faster or slower. It's just making sure that the motor's barely in the water and not too deep, so you don't absolutely trash everything.
It doesn't need water to cool it down, so that's why you can run through mud.
Yes,
with the airboat coating, that I coat the bottom of these boards with, you will see us going over mud flats with no water in this thing, like an airboat.
Sick. That's so sick. I love it. All right.
The air pocket's interesting because when we look at kayaks, I'm always nerding out over how fast a kayak is going to go. And I kind of I make a guess before because we know how powerful these electric outboards are at this point. We've seen them on a bunch of different kayaks, but I've seen them on a lot of different hulls too. And some stuff that I've noticed is when your total weight of the kayak and everything ends up being 250 pounds with all your gear and, stuff, then, plus you, but you could have you or not. But when that's your total weight, the difference of 40 or 50 pounds, actually, it doesn't matter. That electric outboard doesn't actually care. So then I'm because I made a boat that only weighed 85 pounds and was 12 feet and was a V hull. It's this will be the fastest kayak in the world. I'm the smartest man alive. I run it on this electric outboard and I'm it was fast. Yeah. But was it as fast as I thought? No, it was probably 2 miles an hour slower than what I thought I was going to get out of it. Then you see a flat bottom kayak that's fully overloaded and looks like a barge. And you're well, this will be the slowest thing in the world. And the trolling motor is taking that thing 5 miles an hour.
4.55. Yeah.
What?
So real quick, because a lot of people are what are we talking about? And I had some super chats that I got to go back and cover. Don't worry, guys. Share screen's a thing. I'm going to show you. So real quick, shout out before I dive into this. Cam's Lawn Service drops 2 super chats for $4.99. We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Cam, hi. I know you were trying to get our attention early in the show, but we get into this conversation with the guests, so we want our guests to flow, to share these ideas, these experiences. So if you ever drop a super chat and we're in the middle of a conversation, I'll catch you at the break. I got you. But appreciate it, man. And then real quick, we got Stinky River Tom, the man, the myth, the legend, with a $5 super chat there. I know a fat, stinky riverman, a friend of mine, who struggled standing on a SUP. Any tips? I love the introduction to the story. A friend of mine who struggled standing up on a SUP. Any tips for standing up on a SUP? And while you guys share some insights, I am going to pull up your Instagram page just so people can get a perspective of the vessels that we're talking about here, you guys. But yeah, your guys' opinion, assistance on anybody struggling with standing up on a stand-up paddleboard.
Well, you can't look at this as a paddleboard. I know they name it a paddleboard. It's the
I'm showing them now.
Yeah, I think on one of the pages on the reels, there's me jumping up in the air and landing on it 3 feet in the air, and I just jump on the side and I explain. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
number 2,
the second one,
yeah, right there.
Let me make sure it's muted. I don't want to blast you guys, but yeah, there you go.
And you can, see what this is the only catamaran in the world that they built, and it forms this massive suction hull. It's 700-pound capacity. And after the 65-pound hull weight, you still have 635 pounds of usable weight you can throw on this thing. That 8-foot-long air pocket works like a plunger. When I jump right there to the side, that huge pocket goes on the outside, other side of the hull, inside, and it sucks you down. I refuse when we started this company to do 15-minute dock tests because it's like a catamaran in any kayak. You get on it. And if you've never, my kayakers that are getting on these and switching or adding it to their fleet, they're doing backflips on this thing in 5 minutes. I don't have to worry about those guys.
I can't promise 5 minutes. Give me 7.
I turn around and they're standing on their coolers already, like I do. Like they just get it's like they understand how to move their knees. They understand that stuff. But I have guys on this thing that. We've had 340-pound guys you'll see on our page just cruising. The only reason we build stabilizers are just for people with knee conditions or injuries, or my mom, it just wants to go out there. And if a boat goes past her, she wants some stabilizers on there because she just wants to feel safe all alone as a 60-year-old woman out there. But outside of that, don't compare this. This is the only catamaran SUP in the world. So I just tell people you just can't. I don't do 15-minute dock tests because it takes you 45 minutes to understand the technology while you're on it. Because every time you're on it, you lean, you think you're rolling, and then you don't. So you do that over and over. Actually, our test days, when we take people out on 8-hour test days, we fish, we put ourselves in every single situation. We hit chop, we do everything. But I start them off just with a trolling motor for 2 hours, get your knees, and then I put them on a 2.5 horsepower. Yeah, they go all day, and the last 20 minutes, I let them switch to my 6 horse, and they're just ripping it. So, because at that point, at the end of the day, they're understanding the technology, they're trusting it, and they're not panicking, they're not freaking out, because anyone throws a 6 horsepower on a 65-pound vessel. You feel, and
you're gonna fly.
To this day, this is the only SUP that I've ever seen that actually gets on true plane. You feel the thing. If you don't have weight on it, you feel it lift up, and it's creepy. Yeah. So people have to just because it's a vortex hole. You design a tunnel hole, and that vortex air comes through and exits the back in a certain way, just like if you research the racing industry, and it slices through. There's no other SUP that's a catamaran. So unlike other SUPs, if I have 18 inches, I'm 15 to 18 miles per hour through chop. I start slowing down about 2 footers because it just slices. We went out on our page. You'll see on the SUP Angler page, Austin's page.
I love that, dude. By the way, if you're not, you don't even have to like fishing. Just like looking at cool stuff. Just go follow that page.
Yeah, but we went off about 5 miles off Jupiter. We're going through rollers. That's the day that he got that 10-foot bull shark come and grab his prop. Shook him around a little bit. We still have the shark tooth on the board.
No, you do not.
Yeah. They want to add a the at the beginning. That's actually my wife.
Oh, is it the?
Thing, but that's my wife.
I was like, I think this is you.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Jeff, don't make it weird.
Go to his reels. I think on his reels you'll see that shark one. But
there it is
on the left.
Top first one.
So Yeah, that's a big one. Right before we got married, we just have a bucket list, father and son. And I was like,
it was my bachelor party.
We were like, well, we've grown up mahi fishing. We do a lot of offshore fishing too. People think we're just backcountry, but no. I mean, I sold all 3 boats after getting these. I never thought I would. Kept my boat club for the offshore 25s, and anyone comes in the town up north. Hey, you own a boat? We would like to go fishing. Like okay. So I kept the boat club for all of that, the pontoons, and these things just destroy the backcountry for us. I defy all the tides. Back in, I could probably get my Carolina out of there with 3 inches on plane. But it was always I was limited to 2 hours before high tide, 2 hours after. I got to get out of here on these.
Otherwise, you can't get back.
Yeah. And these, I stay back, and when the tide starts dropping, the fish start coming out. They start getting trapped in the channels and everything. But we went offshore here. We went 5 miles offshore, no problem, slicing through everything. Because I said, you know what? If we're going to do anything stupid like shark fish off paddle boards, let's just do it before you get married.
My wife heard about that because I didn't tell her about it until I posted the video.
Obviously.
She saw the video online. She had to look twice at it. I got a mouthful.
So that actually just happened to me. It wasn't quite as bad. But, Jeff, remember the whale?
That wasn't a shark. You can't relate your story to that.
I don't know the whale.
Hang on. So the whale breach that just happened 2 weeks ago?
Right off his bow.
When that video, there's one it's literally like a couple of feet in front of me, a gray whale breached right in front. It was nuts.
I thought it hit his kayak. Like from my perspective,
it was
back like 25 yards,
flipping you up in the air like a seal.
It breached up, and I thought it went over his boat, and then like for a split second, I was like,
and he blew out his freaking nose.
Blowhole.
Shoots. Yes, you wanted to say blowhole. That's yours, dude. Shoots out like right there. That's actually what alerted me because it was so quiet and I was very focused on fishing, and I just heard poof, and I'm like, holy shit, like it was nuts. Anyway, so I
had a sensor.
Manatees will do that here too, and they get you, man, because they're so curious. They think we're a floating manatee anyway.
They're like, hey buddy,
we'll hear them breathe right next to them.
Oh no, because they're silent. You could be like walking on a dock and there'd be 5 of them, and if you weren't looking down, you'd have no idea.
That's
true. They just sneeze on you.
So that happens, right? And I texted my wife. We had like no service because the internet was down that day at the lodge. So I texted her. I was like, this happened. She never saw it. Sees on someone else's page, posts the whale video, and doesn't know about the whale. But they're like, oh my God, this whale almost killed Paul. Like that was like the clip. And then she's like furiously texting me like, what are you talking? And I was like, oh no, what has happened?
She was texting you? What?
Yes, because I couldn't text her. I wasn't able to like tell her what happened. Like I tried, and then the messages go in like 2 days later.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Our wives just keep their phones off while we're doing stupid stuff. They're out like we don't want to know.
That's what I'm telling my wife.
That's the time you need your phone on.
Well, one time,
emergency calls. No, thank you.
Well, one time I dropped my phone, in the water, taking a picture of a fish like an idiot. This was like years and years ago, before any social media or anything. And so I couldn't respond to her, and I didn't have like a landline, and we lived separately at the time. We were dating at the time, and she thought I was dead, so she called every single person that I know that day, and it was like she's calling people in California, and my buddy John's like, I am literally 2,000 miles away from you. I have no idea.
I'll get him. See you in 24 hours.
Exactly. I'll see you in 4 days. Exactly. I feel bad, but it is what it is.
It is what
people think though that these things are just for skinny water, but they're just and they remember you don't have to throw on horsepower in the back. Like you guys are going to be using an electric motor. You guys are going to be using an e-propulsion for one of you.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, actually,
I'm excited to test that out.
Me too.
We just talked about this yesterday.
We're gonna have a 2.5, 3.5, 6, an e-propulsion. But a lot of our guys will just start. A lot of our people just start with a trolling motor setup. And then add on, hey, if we ever want to power up later, what do? We just order a motor mount. It's sent to you, and you just put it on with T-bolts, and you take it off in 5 minutes. So a lot of people will start, because also on the catamaran, you need less power to move it. So let's say I have to be at an 8 or a 10 with a V-hole. On this, you're doing the same speed at a 6 power, on the remote, on the trolling motor. So you can get so much range so fast. I mean, we got a guy, Mark, out of Arizona, winning bass tournaments all the time because he has a 36-volt power pole move on the front of his. He gets to the fishing grounds.
No way.
So fast.
Oh my God, dude.
And like I'm there 20 minutes before people show up. He's tried to switch to other hole designs and always have went back or add on other hole designs and has always went back because he's just so fast and and light, dude. You know. So
the one thing, so people are seeing the videos right now and are seeing some of the setups. One of the things that I kind of made the assumption just based on the size about sort of roughly how big it is. It's kind of crazy that, I mean, this will take up the back of your truck for sure. I mean, how wide is it? Is it over 48 inches wide? How wide is this thing?
34.
No,
that's it.
It's in a truck, dude. Yeah,
dude, so that's fitting in between the wheel wells of like almost every truck.
Inches,
and you're talking about having a trolling motor on top of that with like a padded deck would be the absolute sickest like pond setup on the planet. Like
Micro
period.
pole.
The end.
Oh, you do the pull through the plate.
That's what. So Jeff is saying that the power pole for this can go in front of the motor because they make the custom motor mount. Now that custom motor mount, I was looking back to your page and I was like, how are you guys making that?
We CNC it down the road in Central Florida. We have an awesome shop that does the front and back plate for us. Yeah. You don't need the motor mount for the power pole. You can do 2 flat ones. Like a lot of our bass guys say, I'm not going to power this up, so I want a flat plate on the front, a flat plate in the back, and I'll run my battery from the front, or instead of I'll have my trolling motor on the front, but I'll run a cord to the back and put my battery, my power pole in the back for weight distribution. And weight distribution is like that. I mean, you just run the cord and you're done. I mean, it's and what's nice about the flat deck with 8 feet of marine mat, it's comfortable and there's endless possibilities because there's nothing in your way. There's 12 tracks around it, aluminum or plastic, whatever you want. So yeah, you can do that configuration. But one thing I did when I was engineering the boat itself is I centered the power pole spike. So you don't need 2. And with it in the middle, you never sway. You're always just flat out straight. You may swing around, but what I do is I put my spike in.
Spike down.
I use my trolling motor to move me around. I put my trolling motor on nav motor true north, and my trolling motor keeps me straight. And my micro pole keeps me down. And if I want to angle, I'll just take that true north or nav mode this way, and I just stay that way. And I use it. I have a YouTube video about that we just keep it. So what's
nice
being so light, you just don't have to deal. 65 pounds, 700-pound weight capacity. So 635 pounds of usable weight you could put on this thing.
Dude, so there's a couple, most inflatables they start around 400 as capacity. Most kayaks top out, what, Jeff?
650 is like the highest most kayaks will ever go.
And and we all know that's like water.
Common.
That's water topping the gunnels. Like you're right at that. What they do is they actually distribute the weight from the outside in, and they keep going until water comes in. So it's 650 minus U is not a usable number. You pretty much have
all closed. So no water's getting in. It's all closed platform. It's all sealed, so water can get on. And you're sitting about 3 feet high. We're coming out with some seats and different stuff too, some additional seats and some seats with grab bars and stuff like that. But I really just like why I had 9 kayaks and still needed something because I wanted ultimate performance in the back. And
your registration fees over your lifetime have got to be the most comical joke on the face of planet Earth. Like,
I don't know what are Florida registration fees for
$40 every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's fine.
I'm out of here.
Well, I'll never financially recover from this.
We give everyone an MSO and a receipt. They go in. We drive these things. I mean, Texas is our biggest outside of Florida. Texas is our biggest state, and Maine, Massachusetts.
No, those
Virginia,
are lake states. I know Maine is not, but like Texas, you've got the coast.
Yeah.
But like if they're bass fishermen, I mean you've got to be getting some of those.
Soon to be Michigan.
Dallas and we're just saying. Stuff, We just sent 2 to Wisconsin. We're shipping 1 to North Dakota right now.
Nice.
Liv just sent a bunch of paddle boards to I think Wisconsin too. So yeah, it's starting to catch on. Like I think we've helped a little bit with awareness. I think we ended last year, I don't know, 90 million views or so between the pages. So,
jeez. Well, and they're
phenomenal.
well deserved because one, they're done really well, but two, you guys just make an awesome product. I'm not gonna lie,
cool
like
content.
we've gone through and seen like what Boat does, and they have both the fiberglass version and the inflatable version. And I swear, every time I see something like that's anywhere near this realm, just after fishing in so many kayaks, I'm like, if you like things simple, I cannot see you beating this in any way.
Yeah,
it's the technology. I just tell everyone, just YouTube the technology in any cat, because I came from that world. That's why all these Texas catamarans, I mean, the offshore, the Freemans, like you may have a little bit, it may feel more rocky left and right, but when it comes down to stability and slicing, there's just nothing to it. And remember, what I can do on my water line is I can take that prop and I can raise it above the water line because I have water up through the hull. And I had to get the degree angle, the right prop to solve the cavitation. But when you see me running over 2 inches, it doesn't lie. I'm running over 2 inches. If you see me hop a sandbar, I'm literally hopping a sandbar. So
that's so cool.
You're basically a Silver Surfer at this point.
Paul, have you ever been on a cat?
Even if you're in skinny water and creeks and freshwater at Bayou, I have a lot of guys Canada ordered because they're just in these. They got to go up to these rocks. They got to get over these rocks and get deep again. Yes. And I got guys all the time. I don't really compare vessels. It's just anyone remember if you have a V hull, you have to have 4 to 6 inches. Period. That prop has to get underneath the hole.
That one's a good one. That's us jumping out of a hole.
That's us stuck in the mud, and that's a light vessel like this jumps out of the mud. The prop is actually in the mud. That's airboating right there.
Oh, frick, dude.
That's so nuts. So it was interesting you brought up like the catamaran style. Paul, have you ever been on like a solo cat or like a 3-4 person cat before?
Never. Nope.
I did that once in the Florida Keys. It's freaking nuts. So just a sail, and I was out there with like 3 people, and then you just get your weight distribution right, and then you got to learn how to like move everything so you don't die. But it's pretty cool, and you can go up on like the single cat and just start. Well, I was doing that. It was freaking nuts. This was like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. But it was really cool, man.
You guys are gonna have a good time. You're gonna
we always manage to have a good time. So
this is naturally going to give us a good time, but we also bring a good time. So you guys be ready. That's what I'll warn you with.
we got some fish. Brinkley with Wading the Bay. He's our bud now, and he's on to some big. We have to start at 5:30 in the morning, but
deal.
I am absolutely that guy.
Give up. They get hot at 10 a.m.
Fair enough.
Perfect. Sounds great to me, man. It'll be a lot less setup than when we were in BC. We had to like drag all our kayak stuff down. The setup.
Yeah, you had to like get 2 batteries, 2 rod setups, all your
get your big speed,
find your water bottle, grab your radio, get the water gear, get your lunch, get the headgear. Oh my god, get the cameras out. That was the savage.
This is gonna be like roll out of bed at 4:45, drink coffee, get on set.
Well,
go.
Camera gear still, but always camera gear.
It'll be ready. It'll be fine. No, these are sick, man. I love this. So hopefully this gives you guys context. Anybody watching, if you're listening, this whole time that we've been talking, I've been sharing the SUP Customs and the SUP Angler Instagram channel. So if you want to see the content we're showing people right now, just go check them out on Instagram. All right, let's get back to it. So that was we kind of jumped around a lot with a lot of great information, though. I love that.
I want to know. Oh, I was going to go to favorite build.
I was going to go to favorite build, so I'll say it first. You guys have done a lot of versions of this. We've seen a bunch of them on the channels that you guys post. What's like your favorite build, the favorite setup for you guys? You gravitate to this one.
I mean, the old guy or the young guy?
Yes, to both.
Old guy first, then young guy.
I got the flashy board.
He goes simple. He goes pretty light. I'm the station wagon. I have the fish box.
I love that station wagon.
I have the ice. I have the gas. I have the drinks. And then he gets the camera gear and go.
Dad mode.
You're rocking the dad.
I got all the camera gear, the turtle box. I like my build because I can move everything around. I don't have to strap anything down. So while I'm fishing, if I need to move things around like my cooler or rods and stuff, everything's just grab and go.
And you guys run the rugged roads these days?
Yeah, we like them. They're 9 pounds.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Sick? And they work.
Yeah, like because remember, when I'm motoring, I have my extension handle. I'm cruising. I want everything in front of me. So I pick up yak box, whatever. I need to move things around. But when I'm fishing, I'll grab that box in front of me with rods in it. I'll move it behind me. But then I'll grab my rugged, that's my dry box for my storage all day, and I'll move that up front. Because saltwater fishermen, especially, 90% of my fishing, I'm up on my cooler getting elevation so I can see a fish 200 yards away. Like I need, crystal clear water, white sands. You'll see it. And you can spot that. It looks like a log or something. And that's our biggest thing. Like wintertime, it's all mud, dark water. But where you guys are going to be at is going to be, it's just this deep. And you got these massive fish that will roam around, come out of the creeks. He likes just to run and gun, like just music. Like he's.
I was gonna say he's like, I got all this stuff I'm bringing. He's like, I have a speaker and some cameras. I got the sunscreen. I got the lunches.
I'll keep you healthy and alive, and you make. I got the
apples and the sauce and the juice.
This is the dynamic you need, though. This works.
All wintertime, we're going out and filling the freezers. Sheephead, trout, black drum. We've caught 120 fish in with some of these bays with their traps.
I've never caught a sheephead. I've only caught what we call a sheephead, which is a freshwater drum.
That's my top 3 to eat. Is sheephead. It's in there, yeah.
Nice way
all day long. Yeah, I'll clean my sheephead, give everyone else the redfish that night. All of our people, in wintertime. Yeah. But I think my favorite build is coming up because I've never been a screen guy. I've never been an electronic guy because, again, I'm in 2 inches of water seeing my fish all day. Yeah. But there's a lot of times that we'll go out of these channels. It will take us 2 hours, like up north in Crystal River, the channel, there'll be stacks of black drum in the 40 to 60 pound range, but it will take us an hour and a half, 2 hours of moving up until you locate them. Or wintertime, there's these snook in the 40s that we know they're down at the bottom of the channel, staying warm in the mud, but you got to slow roll it to them. But, it's a half-mile channel. So what's going to be really nice is getting into some sort of the electronics like my bass guys do. So I just had that guy that did the test run. Yeah. He has screens, he has live scope, Sniper Marine on it, pole.
Okay.
Screen like the Minn Kota trolling motor on the front.
Yeah. This guy's way ahead of his time.
He's going to have I don't know exactly what it's called, to where you can see up front, just straight up at an angle the whole time. So he'll have his live scope, but he'll also have his front view. Like he has two different.
He has 3 Megalon 360.
4 sonar. There you go.
Shut the.
Yeah.
4
So
sonar?
what he wants to do, so I'm going to mimic his on mine.
Yeah.
So when I go, like even a hole, if I'm in 2 feet of water and I know there's a 20-foot hole in front of me, I don't know if it has 5 fish or 50 fish or 500 fish in it. So I've been working with the guys at Sniper. They're kind of educating me.
Yeah.
Mark, the bass tournament champion up there, Mark out of Arizona, is going to walk us through it. Nice. And I'm going to build his coming up in August. I'm building that man's skiff, his setup. Yeah. And I may mimic him because most of my fishing right now, you'll be with me. I just want to run. I want to get on something I can transport like a kayak. Lazy days, I can just throw trolling motor on it, cover 8 miles of ground on trolling motor. Damn. Or when spring comes up and the cobia are coming in, we're catching 40-inch cobia in 3 feet of water, following rays in, and just chasing them down. Like if we see a stingray, we see a stingray in front of us, we know there's probably going to be if we see a log behind it. I want to, that's what I do right now. And we'll put in our area. A lot of people actually have failed miserably in our area because they're like, there's no fish there. And but they're very spread out, and they go into the creeks, they go in the back country, then they come out, and and they all stay together. So sometimes they can be 3 miles apart. So we'll fish one area, one creek mouth, and if they're not there, we just rip it. And I'll stand on my cooler motoring and just look at every single creek mouth. And when I say, there's 3 redfish, I'll circle around, put up that gas motor,
do nothing because I don't want to eat them, and go get another one.
And start fishing. Fishing there. Start fishing there because we located them. But sometimes we have to run on these things 3 miles to locate them. So that setup for me with that electronics, I think I'm going to enjoy because I'll be able to locate them in other areas that I can't get my eyes on them. So that's probably going to be my favorite. My favorite setup is a little combination of everything.
That's fun.
So
That's sick.
I'm not a purist. I want to get there. I'll save my exercising for the gym. I want to get there. I want a micro pole. I want if the current's ripping, the winds. If it's blowing 20, I'm going. It doesn't matter. I'm out. So I have the stability. I have the cat. I just turn into the waves when I fish. So I'm just the type that I think we were really searching for that true hybrid. And I'm kind of married to live water sports because it is really about the design of that tunnel and catamaran.
Yeah.
And it really does everything. That's why we do so many videos and so many scenarios, because we want to show people we're not messing around. It does. So.
Well, that's why the content does so well too, is because it's like exciting. It's fun to watch. It's cool gear. People like to nerd out on that, whether they want it or not. It's always cool to see something different, right? And then you guys do so much variety too. So that certainly lends a hand to those. How many 90 million views or whatever you did last year?
Yeah, the shark video did well on a few pages. That got us to like 50 or 60. But yeah, we're always like we're putting off the beach and doing a few. We're trying to do a shark tooth hunt again out of Venice, Florida. Last time we did that, did well. So we don't get out as much as we used to because we're building them now. So and delivering them, and this is our second year. So
really,
we're the accessory provider the first year, and then last year was our first year selling the actual paddleboard with everything, one-stop shop. So you get it right. It's a very technical build. And you need to get it right. So you don't need to walk into a shop and order something there and then 5 different places and you try to Frankenstein it together. We should be the ones doing that. So now we're just that one. Live Water Sports made us the Skiff dealer. And that way it's done right. We manufacture the parts, so it just made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of guys will call me and I'll say, you can save money. You don't need to do all of that. Can you get away with the 2.5? Can you get away with It's also nice to have advice.
Save money and time. If you guys put it together, you put it together right too. Like that's killer. I love it.
That's not how I feel when I see kayaks where I'm like, I wouldn't amount to that just that.
I feel like you should have consulted with somebody.
Maybe you should have called me. I don't know.
I can help with that. You have all these forums of people. I see it on our stuff. Like, it won't do this. And I'm thinking to myself, because you didn't go all the way. I'm cavitating. Well, you didn't get a cut prop. You want to save a buck, but they're not saying that on the forums.
Exactly.
But yet, if you call me,
it doesn't work.
If you call me, I'll let you know you have to have this or you will do this. So no complaining when you don't.
Well, when you complain, I'll say all right, I see how it is.
You were told better. So
people will still complain. They always find a way, right? And forums are interesting because it's like 50% good ideas, 50% terrible ideas.
50% of the time, I'm like,
no.
I want to get like a login so I can be like, do not do this. Please,
disrespectfully,
whatever you do,
no.
don't drink that.
I just stopped following.
Drink
that.
Just let them find out.
We're just the engineers. What do we know? So
exactly. Yeah,
people will argue with us about our own. So it's like, you guys did it wrong.
Okay. All right, yeah, for sure.
But we love our customers. I mean, they're the coolest people. I'm texting them all day. They're sending me photos. Oh my God. I just had a guy saying, I could never do this with my other. I thought I ran skinny. I didn't know what skinny was.
I dropped off
2 feet of water,
I dropped off a rig to a 70-year-old man, and on his test day, he was telling me his last 10 minutes of the day, and he put him on the 6 horsepower to test it. So he gets out there and he's reenact. He's so excited and perky. He's like, and I ran through that wave and I cut it right. And I just felt it grab all the way. And he was like, so I never imagined a paddleboard like this doing that.
Yeah.
And just old guys just talking to me, and I'm obviously
you're seeing that a lot.
And
reliving their life.
And I'm like, this is cool. We're building something for people my age, and 70-year-old guys are just gleaming about it.
A lot of my Texas guys Texas is really known for their catamarans, everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, where has this mini catamaran been my whole life? I
get the baby cat.
And it wasn't even Texas. Dang it.
That's sick. Yeah. All right. Did we get to Austin's rig? Did we talk about Austin? You called it the flashy rig.
Yeah,
what's your favorite build?
That's the one I love my rig. I fish the same one every time. And again, it's so modular. So like my wife and I will go camping. Like we just went camping a couple weeks ago. So instead of an engine, I just put a front plate up front with the trolling motor and that same plate in the back. So it's like that flat rig. And I put all of our camping gear on it. And it's called Chazawitzka. It's a beautiful river out there. And we just floated it out there. But whenever I'm going out fishing, I rip it. We may eventually build it called the SUP Angler rig.
Just light,
easy. It'll come with a turtle box, and it'll just be my rig. Light, fast.
He'll have
his 6 horsepower.
His bag, his dry bag. He'll have his cool, like just super light, super fast. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be running through. I mean, if I'm off by like 2 or 3 inches, I'm running right into a mangrove line, really tight mangrove mazes, and I'm just ripping right through them. And because I know every inch of a lot of those spots, I know when to slow down, when to speed up, when to take the turn. If I miss it, I'm going right into the sandbar. It's fun. And you look down and like the weeds are just flying by you, and you know you're ripping it. It's a good feeling.
What's nice about the catamaran, I get 20 miles per hour with no weight, just body, a cooler. But what's nice, when you load it up with 500 pounds, you're still getting 15 miles per hour. You only lose because the cat still slices. There's just no surface tension. The water's coming through that tunnel. So it's not like, so people ask me all the time, hey, can I get a 10 horse on it? No. I mean, what are you going to do? Like 40 miles per hour on a paddleboard? Like we're going 20 with a 6. And, so that's what's also not nice about the technology is the stability, the lift, the buoyancy, all that stuff. But also when you load this down, you're not losing much speed.
And surprisingly, the more weight you put on it, the more it feels like you're grabbing onto the water. It's like almost compressing down that air pocket, and it's making it feel more secure. So when I'm running and I'm taking a sharp turn, I feel it grabbing, and I don't feel like one of the ends coming up because it's like pushing itself to the water. And that's what that guy was, the gentleman I dropped off that board to. He's like, when I turned, I felt secure, and I didn't feel like it was going to roll at all. So.
Dude, I cannot wait to do donuts for 4 hours because that's what I'm going to do. So the folks in the chat are asking for a definition here because we in the fishing industry love to define things and put them into boxes. So they're asking, so traditional SUP, skiff, hybrid, what is this thing? Hybrid, right? So
remember, everything goes on 12 tracks and comes off. So it's basically, what do you want it to be? Not just forever, but any particular day. If you just want to launch it roadside with a trolling motor, what's a motorized kayak? If you want to throw an engine on the back, well, now it's a skiff. If you just want to take everything off, go to the beach with the family, now it's a paddleboard.
Yeah.
It's just the most versatile vessel. And that's what we were searching for years. And like I said, we had 9 kayaks there and we loved it. Went off with the family, came back. My back hurts, exercised all day. It literally is all of our skiff accessories goes on. And when I say 6 T-bolts, the Yakutech T-bolts up front and nuts, and the plate comes off, and that plate can be a dog pad, hold a trolling motor, hold a duck blind, anything you can imagine, and the back motor mount on with 8 T-bolts and off. Like 5 minutes, you're a skiff. 5 minutes later, take it off, and you're whatever you want it to be.
I was 13-year-old doing shows at ICAST, and somebody would basically ask that question to me, and I would tell them it's a hybrid. Why would you want to be locked into something that it's built just for one thing? With this, you can, like he said, take off the engine, now you're paddling.
This is for the customer that's limited out on the potential limits of what a kayak can do, but don't want to deal with the boat and a trailer and people. And that was me. That was me, boat ramps and people. Yeah. And I don't care if I was at my fishing spot at 7 a.m. There's some dude rolling up on me, or some charter that already went through my spot. And in our area with these snook, they only hang out during currents and different spots. And if you've spooked them, they shut off for the day. And, and every time I'd be out somewhere, so I was fishing one of my favorite springs where fish will load up in the winter, and I have this $200,000 boat. I turn around like I'm fishing it, and this dude, instead of, let's fish beside each other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 15-foot wide spring. I mean, we can manage this, right? The dude goes over the spring, looks down at it, and thinks the fish are going to bite when he just throws it on their head, driving over them. And that was when we were like, we're kind of done. We're going to fish the lower tides, put in roadside, fish when boats, even charters can't get back there. The water comes up. We've fished 4 hours in the backcountry. We are leaving to fish the mouth while the charter's coming back, saying we've already been back here catching them. So we actually reversed our fishing.
I found a way to screw them.
like we've already looked. Now the charters even have to go back there with these bats and bait and for their clients and pull the fish out of the mangroves with shot, greenbacks and
that sounds like a real pain in the
but at low tide, those fish are within our reach because they couldn't get into the mangroves, but we could get them. So we were just looking for that hybrid that can just do anything but perform. We just got really lucky when I chose that catamaran Live Water Sports as a customer. We were just spot on. I mean, I looked at every single whole design and I said that when he was 13, our hobby, father and son hobby, wasn't sports and stuff. It was figuring out what we can do and what we can, kind of conquer in the backcountry. And we were drawn to that, the lightweight, the whole design. And we never imagined doing this to it. We never imagined it'd be this popular. We literally threw little trolling motors on it front and ran the cord with duct tape under the bottom our first trip, and then grew from there. Yeah, and we've tested every engine, propane engines, you name it. It's we've tested everything over 9 years, and that's how we were able to make a business out of it and engineer something that works. So.
Yeah, engineer being the key word. Definitely a lot of engineering going on with these, which is really cool to see. I love it. And Paul, how well do you think these perform in Michigan rivers? I kind of want to go just like rip the Grand River on one of these. Wouldn't that be sick?
Oh,
St. Clair, I picture St. Clair would be hilariously fun.
I feel like St. Clair would be fantastic because, especially if you had with the trolling motor and the gas or whatever, electric, it doesn't matter. But if you can go over 6 on a place like St. Clair, you're within 30 minutes reach of 70% of that lake. And then with the trolling motor, you could drop it right on top. And how many rigs do you carry for St. Clair? 3? I only carry 3.
You don't need that many.
Unless I'm trolling, it's 3. And so 3 rods,
medium light, medium heavy spinning, and then you get a caster.
Yes, I'm going to find some 2-foot chop rolling hopefully on Monday and let y'all just rip through it after being on this thing for 2 days. Because usually a customer, I'll say, look, I know everyone's overconfident. Wait till trip 3 or 4 before you really start, But I got to because we're going to be out some beautiful islands. The true Florida, we're going to take you to the nature coast to where we don't have beaches. We find our own beaches. We go out, we find our hidden islands, we find our places, and we're going to have some cool places. I had one place we go through, shoot right through it, and then I look over, there's a John boat stuck, a mud boat, and I was like, you may help push it. Yeah, you want me to help? He knew us, and a lot of local guys do. I come off, I say, we're in nothing. We're in spit. I said, you want me to push you out? He's like, yeah. He's like, you should be videoing this of your board floating behind me as you're pushing me out. And I'm like, if I had a third person here, but you guys are gonna rip it. I mean, there'll be some times that your motor will kick up a little bit. You'll be hitting some mud, but we're gonna test it in every chop, backcountry. We're gonna see turtles. We're gonna see dolphin. It's gonna be fun.
Of the two of us, who do you think's gonna eat it the hardest in these 2 days?
You've been saying you want to be doing donuts.
You're doing donuts, man. I've never had a kayaker fall off, ever.
No.
Perfect opportunity. First time for everything.
All my guys that fall off. I mean, I did have one guy checking email while he's in 2-foot chop rolling, checking email. He fell off. But
that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard about life.
Other than that, I've had some guys.
My last email.
Some older guys, that will just but I mean, out of all the people that maybe 2 or 3, it was all panicking. Not understanding the technology. And I tell people, look, if you think you're falling off, just fall off.
I was about to say, look, it's
beautiful water. It's hot out. I'm going swimming.
Don't try to hang on, whatever. We don't really have, but that's why we go your first day, all going to be trolling motors all day long. We don't have, I mean, we're going to find all of our redfish, snook, and everything within a mile.
Yeah.
And then day 2 is going to be ripping it. So
I am super stoked. Also,
did you notice?
It's funny that Real Talk in chat says 100% I'm going to get hurt. Paul's the one who gets hurt all the time, but I somehow have way worse balance. So
yeah,
I have a tendency to fall.
I get like sliced open. You just break your own back on a log.
I don't break my back. I don't break bones. You do. You get the severe
What bone
injury.
have I broke? I haven't broken a bone in forever.
This is what I get first 5 minutes when guys leave the dock, my parents' dock, and they get on it and they go out and they do this, and they look at me and like
get their seat.
And they have high end other stuff they're switching from.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they're like, my biggest comment, oh, I could never do that on mine. Yeah. And that's every single time I get that, like, oh, I could never do this on mine. So like, I just, it's going to be interesting what you find. And there's something out there for everybody. We're out there for someone, like I said, that's just found their limits, but don't want to make the jump to but like we're that, you know, but there's something for everyone. There's beginners. And I have a lot of people that will just get the paddleboard from me and just get a $100 trolling motor with a handle and a Walmart battery, and it will get in the game because you get all the benefits of running skinny, stability, and then they build it as they go. So
so you can do it later. That's why we love the new canoes. That's why one of the reasons I do, because it's kind of expensive, and you know, if that's the kind of kayak you want, though, you can do that over 3 or 4 years, but the kayak's still very usable naked, right? And so not a lot are though. There's like not a lot of those big tournaments. You cannot paddle them, like you just can't do it, or they suck because there's a bunch of accessories you can't use that you just paid for. And this is totally different scenario. I love that.
And these will always keep up with technology because you can always mount new stuff on that deck.
Yep. So. We have someone Mega Live 720 comes out. You can use that too.
1080. I'm waiting.
1080. And it's funny because I'm remembering I was on a 10-foot kayak on Lake St. Clair in like 3-foot rollers, and for going into the wind, and I was trying to keep steady at, you know, my trolling speed because that's what I was doing. And I was very comfortable. I didn't think I was going to flip at all. Love the kayak, but there was like a shuddering like amount of force just trying to go through there, because that is like a super flat boat, and like it handles that fairly well. Not like this. That's not even going to be insane.
My Carolina Skiff would do that, but then when you go to a cat, you roll. I mean, you'll see video. I mean, you'll see. Yeah, it's further back a bit, but you'll see me offshore in Venice just jumping 3-footers. I'm airborne and I land, and you'll see how that thing lands. It just slices even when it lands. So it's a different beast. It's just different, and that's why we may be 30% more. But when you're on it, I mean, you're thinking 300% more in benefits that you're getting. And again, we're married to them because, I mean, we love the owners. We love the team. He's Live Water Sports social media director. He's employed by them. It's just one big family now because we were just all in with the people, the technology, and everything. So,
what's the bottom coat? Because you guys were talking about, I remember seeing one of your guys' posts about it, and I was very like, you know, if it's proprietary, obviously, but
no, this is not really. I mean, I walk a lot of guys through it. You know, guys that don't want to spend. We charge about $75 to $100 an hour. You know, just like we would any mechanic. All of our products was cool because we ran this for like 5-6 years as customers. So we were always trying to figure out how we needed to, you know. I mean, I lost a couple engines at the bottom of the ocean, like jerry rigging stuff, like zip ties. Don't use them. If you forget your T-bolts, don't zip tie your starboard sharp edge motor mount. You know, I know. Shut up.
What's the worst that could happen?
He's still ragging. Hey, I took that Suzuki out the bottom floor, pickled it out, and ran it for 2 more years. So
nice.
But anyways, but what happened was, because these are fiberglass, huge weight capacity, super light, all of that. I like the fiberglass build because it's repairable. You throw a hole in it, you can repair it. I mean,
not like the aluminum where you're like, am I gonna patch
plastic,
this?
all of that. Like simply, if you know, and even a lot of times you don't have to be a fiberglass guy to repair it. I mean, you can get some rain tex, you know, whatever. But what was happening with us when we're playing with fire and we're screaming through, like all of our South Carolina guys, our Jacksonville guys, they live over oyster beds. I mean, and that's what a lot of people, if I get a skiff owner that owns a boat and adding this on, he's like, I just can't destroy my nice boat back there. So I'm going to get this to beat it up.
Shred it up.
Got it.
But how do you know, basically we bought 2 paddle boards. We bought our paddle boards last July. Didn't have time to coat ours because we were coating customer boards during season. So November, we were about down to fiberglass. We could see that gel. Now I could do 2 things. I could pay expensive gel coat expert to re-gel it. And then 3 months later, because we're constantly hitting oyster beds or boat ramps or whatever. But the airboat coating is simply that. It's literally epoxy, which is what they put on the bottom of air coats to be slippery over land when they go with people. We get 15% more speed. It protects it, more speed. But
really?
Then we took it. A lot of these, the company I use says, I warn people because a lot of guys will launch their airboats on grass and park their car and come back and their airboat's floating in the lake.
Just slide down.
So slippery.
Shut.
It cures it cures like golf ball rivets. So there's a lot less water tension because it's like a golf ball. The water's just flying off of it. But we took it to the next level because that front bow is always on cement on a boat ramp. It's always in the tailgate. So what we've done is we use 2 millimeter thick kill guards that you put on the front of your boat. Every time you hit the trailer, we cut them in half. We put 3 feet of kill guards and we paint the rest. So then you have the airboat protection plus this kill guard. So you just know your front of your boat, and then you get lifetime touch-ups. So even if we coat it for you, ship it to you, deliver it to you in Texas, every year or two, you contact me and I send you the liquid. We've done the 8-hour job, taping, sanding, coating. And then all you have to do is mix, coat in 10 minutes, save the rest of the liquid for another 12 months. And you don't have to be a gel coat expert in your town. You'll get lifetime liquid from us once a year. So, and it's just that way you can just beat the daylights out of it and never have any concern about expensive gel coat repairs or anything like that. So, but that all came from our area where we fish, what we do. And again, just being limitless. The whole point of the bottom coating and then adding the kill guards was protection. And then the benefits of we've used 4 different brands to get this one company that has that texture of the golf ball rivets, that has the slipperiness and all that kind of stuff. If you put it on your car and don't tie it down and you drive fast, the whole paddleboard's so slippery flying off your car. You know, it's just crazy. We've actually had this thing with no weight on plane before with no weight with this new stuff when we first started using this company, and we would turn and the paddleboard would be on plane and skip like a Carolina skiff would. Because of this new coating. It never did that before, but the new coating was just slippery enough that it just,
all I hear is
that. Tell people, know your limits. Know your limits, all right? I know everyone's tough. Everyone wants to get out there and rip it. Just know your limits and start off safe and take it easy and you'll get there.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll do the first 2 things you said.
Yeah, fail, fall, break, destroy. Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to destroy Mom's boat. Okay, that's
I'm not gonna.
We say if you see anything, don't try to avoid it. Don't try to not. If you get out of hand, don't try to avoid it.
It's like a deer.
Squirrel, like don't dodge the squirrels.
Just run into it. Get them. You're not breaking nothing.
How do you guys manage okay, so kayak fishermen and me, what type of tackle are you taking? Like, you have live bait, artificial, both, depends on the day. And then where do you store that? And then let's say you decide that you want to eat a 40-pound fish. Where the heck are you putting that thing?
We do all artificial. We have a few friends that'll take us out and we'll throw some mullet. Especially for big black drum. We'll cut some blue crabs in half and we'll catch 50-pound black drum out there. but we're artificial guys. I'll throw the NLBN little mullets,
Nice.
and I'll catch 30-inch snook on those mullets. And he'll tell you, he'll throw those little DOA white flukes under a mangrove line 30 times, and then that one mullet profile will get that big snook to come out. Dang. So that's what I throw. We'll throw a lot of Ned rigs. We like our Ned rigs. Yeah, I saw a post a little bit ago.
Let's go.
Throw some Ned rigs because I like it when I see a redfish cruising down a line. I'll cast 30 feet in front of it, wait for it to get, and then puff it, and then go hit it. So.
We don't have a water column when we fish. I'm bottom or top. I mean, it's 2 feet. It's 6 inches. Like I don't want to run them. So we're either leading them in the sand, something on the bottom, or we're going over top of them. If not, our line's just hitting them. So, but what's nice about these configurations is all my bass guys, I mean, they'll have a yak pack with 8 rods behind them.
Okay.
They'll have now all the tracks. You'll see some videos on YouTube I've done to I'll line up 6 rods on our plate in the back beside the engine. So, but most of the time I'll have my rod, being a saltwater guy, I'll have bottom and top. I'll have my rod right there in front of me, right hand. I'll have right behind me on the left. I'll have my second rod, and I'll have my fly rod sticking off the back. Just if all the heavens align and it's a good fly fishing day, I'll grab that fly rod, right? But a lot of guys will use a yak pack. I mean, if you want to put on the opposite casting side, just line up rod holders and just stack them. I got guys making cooler setups, and we have a chair coming out that's going to wrap around you, grab bar, rod holders all in it. If you're not running a gas motor, you don't have to have your hand on a handle. But with me, if I'll have 3 or 4 rods and a black pack, when I'm motoring with that handle, I just pick it up, put it right in front of me, and then when I'm ready to fish, I'll pick it up, and that can fit 6 rods easily in it. Plus plus some on the rails. We have guys that run those new. I think y'all put them in your page. Yak Attack side.
Yes, side
holders
for the side stager. Yeah.
12 tracks. If you can imagine it, that circle the entire board. So if you can imagine it, you can either have us build it for you. You can build it. You just don't see a lot. I mean, you'll see if you go through our page some of our customers what they're doing, but we are very, very minimalist. I want a very clean board with a lot of open rim. I get very, very claustrophobic when I sit low and I'm cluttered. I get very, very, and I get something in me. I just can't do it. So I like to roam. I'm standing 90% of the day. Yeah. I'm really so if I'm not chasing, it's almost like deer hunting compared to like antelope hunting. Yeah. I can't sit forever. I'd rather antelope hunt.
You want to duck hunt? I don't forget deer hunting entirely.
Chase them down, So a lot of my fishing is chasing down fish. So
what's funny is like he likes to fish like Jeff likes to fish, and then Austin likes his rig to be mine.
Yeah, I'll sit on. I'm the type that I'll look at him. I'm like, look, these fish are roaming today. They're just circling through the creeks and they're coming out with an outgoing tide. I want to sit on this creek mouth and wait for redfish to come out and have my Ned rig already in the sand. So when he comes out, he's like, Dad, I want to run. So I'm like, all right, well, you run. And that's what's nice about having multiple boards with miles and miles of ground is every single person can do their own thing, but still be together, but still cover miles of ground. And a lot of times we'll report fish. We'll be like, hey, they're over here. And then everyone heads over there. So
I won't. I'll keep them off for myself.
That's exactly. I've made that. We've said that the exact same exchange like 1,000 times because that's what Jeff and I'll do.
If your friend's 2 miles away, I'll be there in 3 minutes. So.
Yeah. No, we do the same thing. It's like you hit the ramp and then you just go like this. Hey, thanks for going fishing with me.
But we always talk about like I'll try these 10 things. You try those 10 things. If anything works, let me know.
Well, also, half our job, 90% of our job, all of our job is testing everything. So, like, I load the boat up. I don't like doing a light rig because we have so many things to try out. So I'm going to bring 6 or 7 rods. I'm going to have a bunch of lures that we got to test and all that stuff. So I load it up. But I've said it in videos, like, I would downsize if this wasn't our job. So I just run heavy because I need a lot of stuff, man.
You guys are going to be testing a Chinese trolling motor, a motor guide, an auto boat. Yeah. Also, you're going to have a
auto boat. Nice.
Every single one is going to have a different configuration. So that's kind of, so if you want to jump on each board, I want to try that trolling motor for now. Y'all just switch and do that, and that'd be cool. So
100% we want to do that because part of what we try to do is we want to be able to provide some sort of an opinion on everything, like an unbiased review of different products if we can. Lots of people ask about auto boat. Like e-propulsion is more of a, I'd like to know that compared to a direct competitor like Bixby. But as far as the auto boat goes, that's one of the things that like people want to know about, and I need to have something to say about it. I don't want to talk about something I've never used.
I've ran it for 6 months. I've rented the daylights out of it. I can let y'all know, and we'll go through it all. The goods, the bads, the whole deal. Yeah, and same with us. I mean, and not only do we test them for days and days of days and days and days and months and months and months. So we have a few things, and the power pole is just, they're just sick. I mean, you'll be out there, you'll see fish in front of you, and you'll be like, boop, down.
I had one
casting already. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, we had Hobie Pro Anglers. We both had the 360, and before that, I had the Hobie Pro Angler, the 12-foot, like the 180 drive. But I had a power pole on that, which like I liked. It's really cool technology. The only issue was the lakes we fish. It's like completely useless most of the time, because like we might have 3-5 feet up on the edges, but most of our lakes are like bowls. So as soon as we move off to structure, I have nowhere to put the power pole. Like I'm in 15 feet of water all of a sudden, can't use it. But perfect for where you guys are at. Yeah. And then we fish the rivers, and if you use it in current, like you're going to have to flip the emergency release. You have no choice. You're going to get in dangerous situations. So
constantly.
And then when you run under the trees and you've got this 8-foot pole just like bashing into everything.
Our streams, like the Midwest streams, like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, we have like notoriously choked streams with really dirty banks. Like everything's covered, overgrown, sticks everywhere. All the creek elbows they look like tree graveyards. And it sucks for fly fishing because you have to engineer a back cast, right? And even when you're roll casting, you miss by 2 inches. It was either not worth the cast, you just spooked the fish, or you're in a tree. Because that's how it is.
All my northern guys, like, don't even mention micro pole. Yeah, I get it.
So do you guys use the mic? You use the micro, right?
Yeah, the power pole micro.
Yeah. But again, the holes are pre-drilled in our plate, so if you ever want to add it on, boom,
it's ready to go.
No drilling, the holes are there. So
same thing for the front plate. We have a large majority of trolling motors pre-drilled. You just punch a hole through the mat and just mount it. So.
Yep.
No, I love it. And you guys have been talking about like, hey, let us, help you like put this together for you. If you guys go to SUP Customs and you pick one of the boards, like you can pick a base. They have packages though, where you can have the board, you pick the color, you got the L2 and the L4 for the live water sports. And then you've got, pick the plates you want, add the track you want, add the, whatever. And you can just go through that list. Power poles on there, and then you guys are sourcing the motors and the power poles. So
we're a dealer with Suzuki, so we even the engines, but calling is best because a lot of people just don't know. Right. I honestly start out asking your budget and goals.
That's
we can either get you there. Like I have a lot of my guys, they're older, like I said, kids are gone, living off retirement, and they just want to live. They've never seen anything like this again. I had an 80-year-old man who lived in a lake that bought it for the grandkids, but there's also times he just didn't want to clean the pontoon boat every time he takes it out from his house. He just wanted this on a slip next to it, that if he just wanted to do a sunset bite, he can go, but yet he can anchor down. He's stable, the whole deal. So call me because we can. And if your goal is that in the future, a full-fledged skiff, because I'm not making money off the massive engine. These things are expensive. The best tools are expensive. Let's start you here, and then you can accomplish your goal over the course of a few months or a couple years.
What if I want to do everything all the time? Because that's exactly what I would want to do. Honestly, it sounds like what I love about it is that, I mean, you were kind of talking about it. Like you can go the Jeff route, and I can see that build. It gives me the ick, but I can see that build, and it's sweet. But then on the other side, I'm like, if I had a trolling motor and a gas motor or an electric motor, either way, right? If I had enough juice to get me where I needed to go, and we're talking about one soft crate, angle the rod holders backwards on one side, and I can take like 4 rods. I'm like, I don't need anything more than that. I don't want much more than that. If I'm trying to keep fish and I can sit on my own cooler, I'm like, yo, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Our builds on this would not be
the whole thing.
We wouldn't be that different on our builds. I would do the 6-horse motor, the trolling motor on the front. I would do the rugged road. We have the 65s, like the 65 rugged road is perfect for this. So I'd put that on there. And then I would do the 13 by 13 black pack with the short stack on it. And like they were saying, so when you run this, and this is interesting, and then I do want to get to, we're going to roll into slow rolling thunder here in a minute because we want to be, cautious of everybody's time here. But I tested out the company boat has the Rover Arrow, which is their inflatable skiff. So I don't know if you guys like look into, you love live water sports. Our job is test everything. So we've tried like everything you can think of, but the Rover Arrow inflatable skiff, everybody was asking me like, okay, they have a bucket bracket, right? So they have a bucket cooler, they have a bracket that goes around it. It's got 4 rod holders on it. Everybody's like, but that's where you sit. What do you do? And you guys helped me figure it out because earlier on you were like, oh, you put your crate with the rods in front of you, you run, and when you get on your spot, switch a Rooney, and then the crate's behind you, and now you can fish off the front how you want. You could do, because with the Rover Arrow, Paul, like you just pop that thing out, move it to the front, move your bucket out of the way.
Yep.
Like, and then when you run like that, and then when you get to your spot, you move it to the back. So no, you just helped me solve that problem because I was like, I don't get it either, guys. Sorry. Now I understand. Got it.
Yeah, this is a setup for someone who wants to be free, just absolutely free out there and like make it yours. I mean, I got some guys that call me and say, I just build me. I have a guy, I'm building his Malone tray to put it together for him. He doesn't even want to put his trailer together.
I'll do it for so much more.
Legend. I've seen it done.
I did it. You didn't do it. Get out of here.
But I had a guy in Tennessee that was going to get 3 canoes, switched over to these for him and his 2 sons, and had the time of his life building his Lorances and everything because that's what he enjoys. Yeah, so like, it's just make it yours. Like
can you imagine? I
love building these.
It's been very recent that we've had access to all these electric motors for kayaks, right? Yeah. But like, could you imagine like having all of your experience being a boat, and then maybe you get a kayak, you fish out a kayak, like, oh, this is really cool, but like that's not exactly what I want.
Something's missing.
I want something a little more.
Vroom.
And then you discover this, and you go from like all of the work and the time and the effort and the money of having a boat, right? Which is very cool. Love boats, but like if you're obviously like that's your experience, and obviously get access and all this stuff, but there are limitations and what they're talking about. You get all that, and then you're like, I'm going to switch. I'm going to try this. And then you realize you have like all of the coolest parts of a kayak, but you still get like the access level of a boat where you're like, I can go where like a boat would go. Yeah. With like the speed and all that. But at the same time, like it's the most throw and go thing. Cause I know what that's like. If you only have like 1 crate, couple rods that you typically bring with you,
it's fast.
The trolling motor stays on it. You just slide that in your truck, scoot to where you're going, put the wheels out and go. And like, all that setup time, money, effort, risk, energy, just like, nah, I'm good with that. That would be nuts. That would be like, that would be insane. Like if that to happen right now.
Are we changing sides, Paul? Is that what we're doing?
You're telling me I need to buy a boat?
Kayaks are out.
I've had some ambassadors have their boards here waiting for them to pick up. And they got calls for like, we're going to drop you if you go pick up David's, in Austin. Skiff.
Are you kidding? Dude, that's awesome.
Click.
3.
Yeah, I'd be like,
3 different ones. All right. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I get it. And they're happy with who they stayed with. So they weren't leaving. They were just adding on to their lineup at home. And someone says, we're going to, and I get it. But I call a lot of these things mom or dad's day off. I've had a lot of dads will get this. Because I just spent 2 days with a pontoon boat with 11 people on it, scalloping for 2 days. I had fun. Don't get me wrong. But I came back after 3 hours of cleaning scallops. And then when I'm offshore fishing or whatever, I'm baiting hooks. Look, I enjoyed my family. I got 5 kids. I love him. But my board That's my
What
day.
about the other ones? How are the other
Yeah,
but when I take out,
I love Austin.
When I take out that setup with no limitations, no feeling of like I can't do something, and I'm on my board, I have 8 hours to myself. I never have 8 hours to myself. So I call these setups a lot of times. Mom and dad will get them so they can just say, hey, I can't fit you today. This is my day. And they'll go out and actually have an actual personal day.
I love it.
So I've had a lot of people just do it for that reason. Like me and my buddy, I had a couple military guys, I have father and son, like they just, it's even if I'm with you, I'm not like, even when I'm on the boat with these guys, in the backcountry, I'm working the trolling motor. I'm letting them cast on the first spots. I'm, whatever. Like, but when I'm on my SUP Customs skiff that I've built for myself, and basically how we did this, we built them for ourselves as a business, and then we made a business out of it. This is my day. Like, everyone leave me alone. I turn up. My wife doesn't call me at all. Like, she knows that's my day, and I know when she has her days, and I don't call her, but she knows when I go on that thing. I get away from boat ramps, away from people, and I drift and I float and I see birds and otters and everything else. And I'll come home refreshed and ready to, next time I'll take you on the boat and you can scream at me to bait your hooks. Fine. But I've had my day. I'm good. So.
Let me have my day first. Dude, that's so clutch. The good news is, Paul, we're not sponsors, so ain't nobody calling to fire us.
Yeah, no one's calling me.
They can try.
I've never been offered either. Hey,
I fire myself.
I don't work for you.
Never asked Harley for a handout. We bought last year. We bought our own paddle. I mean, I didn't give them to us. We've just got to the point this year to where current stuff we're running just appreciated enough to give us something for continuing. But everything on our board is what we use as customers. So we're proud of that. So
no, that's really cool. It's you guys have come a long way really fast, actually. Like, in terms of social media speed, I feel like you guys have done a really good job with that. I'm sure you've been working on this a long time. You put a lot of time and effort into this, and that's like the overnight success. People would be like, wow, you guys really blew up. That's amazing. I bet you feel so lucky. And like, we know the grind that's behind the scenes.
I've been grinding for years. Yeah.
You're like, lucky. All that.
Yeah, we're still doing. I mean, trust me, if I could have 3 employees around here, we would. It's
that's the tough part.
I
man.
respect it.
You guys are killing it. We really appreciate your time being on the show tonight. It's been awesome and hopefully insightful for some folks just to check out like a really unique and different vessel, because we get so hung up in like the kayak world, and there's just a million different ways that you can enjoy the water, the nature, the great outdoors, family, friends, everything. So that is really cool to share that. This is the point of the show where we go into what we call slow rolling thunder. And we're going to ask some fun questions, and we'll ask each of you for your answers there. Chat, you guys are participating on this, as always, so we want to hear your responses in chat as well. And before we dive into this, I want to make sure everybody knows, in case somebody dips out during Slow Rolling Thunder. What are you guys up to, other than we're fishing with you in a couple of days? What are you guys up to? What's coming up for you, and where can people find you?
We'll be at ICAST. So Suspends, we'll be at the Suspends booth. We'll be around Rugged Road. We'll be around Turtle Box. We'll be there. You can always go to SUP Customs, the SUP Angler. You can always DM us. Are you there? Talk to us while we're at ICAST. All of that. You can call us anytime. I mean, I'll do a test day with you. I had guys call me, and we'll start. Some of these older I'll talk about their grandkids. I mean, call me. Talk to me for an hour just about the build. I want to get into these, test days anywhere in Central Florida. Come out for a test day. We'll take you on the water all day long. Things like that. So DM us through our pages. Really, really Instagram is where we've just started our Facebook journeys, just started our YouTube journey. Our YouTube is just to answer questions, and not so much of an entertaining way, just a long videos. I saw you on Instagram. It looked cool. Now I'm going to go to YouTube to see if it's worth the money, if it lives up to what you say. But so we'll be around. Contact us through social media is the main thing.
Love it. And ICAST is going to be a lot of fun. You're going to be at least 2 of those 3 booths that we're going to visit. Right, Paul? Yeah, I don't know about Turtle Box. We're not the speaker guys yet, but Suspends, definitely.
Those are so clutch. The video, I don't know. Dude, the video of the custom, the one you guys did, that like is painted up yellow. when it went down from the ceiling, I was like, and it, onto the car, I was like, shut up, stop it. You did not do that.
They did it. The
Amazing.
suspense lives.
He's coming in. Suspense will be with us this week and fishing.
That's what I heard.
They're bringing their board. Yeah. So it's going to be cool.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they are going to be there.
I'm super pumped, actually. Yeah. You guys don't realize, like, 99% of the, like, this would be the most amount of interaction I have with most of the people we talk to, like this level of interaction where it's like, it would be a video, some video call or a podcast. That'd be like the closest I'd get to meeting most people most of the time. 90% of the time, I'm interacting with them on Instagram. If they have an account, maybe I can like see their face, but that's like a low percentage. For the most part, when you talk to a company, and the people are really cool. You talk to them on the phone and all that. Mm-hmm. You never get to meet people in person. It's like one time a year, and that's pretty much iCast.
Yeah, usually just iCast. Like this is the first year really that we get to do like other excursions, right, Paul? Like we got to go to DC, hang out with 14 people.
Other than sitting in the Foot Chopper 9000, this is going to be the first excursion that we.
That was an adventure.
Yeah, we're starting weekend getaways every 3 months, all SUP Customs and stuff. We're going to Airbnbs and stuff like that. So, like, we're all about community. We're really making this all about community. I always told him if we ever did a business together as a father and son, something we like. I mean, it's all about community. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Absolutely, man. That's how you build it. Love it. So yeah, you guys definitely go check out all their stuff and then stay tuned. We're gonna be making some content. So we're gonna tour the shop, see how you guys put these things together. We're gonna make that into a video. We're gonna test out a bunch of gear people have been asking us to test out for a long time, so we can finally do reviews on those things. And then we're gonna have at least 2 fishing videos out of this. So probably like 3, maybe even 4, maybe a bonus vid will come out of this little excursion. And then iCast, we got 5 videos there. So Paul, get your editing hat on, guys.
Get my editing thumbs ready. Here we go.
Use your thumbs to edit. That's why your edits are so butt. You're just like cut, paste.
What are your edits like? I don't know.
How do I use a mouse like this? I don't get it. All right, let's get into slow rolling thunder. All right. So just for fun questions, a little story time as well. But we'll start with you guys. So the first question, the scariest fishing moment. So you went out fishing. And you can't say the shark, right? We already saw the shark. No, that'd be cheating. So your motor got eaten by a shark. Okay, that's terrifying. No, that was horrifying to
next
watch.
Level.
But so scariest moment other than that. We'll start with Austin since he's got to come up with another story.
I think I got caught in a storm a little bit ago, and the board did great, but. Well, it was underneath a bridge forever ago. It was for a tournament and going underneath a bridge. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those spots where like the current collides at like 5 different spots.
4-foot rollers. Yeah.
And like you got a 4-foot roller going here and here and here. And I'm like, I got to go right through the middle of that. That's the only way to get back to the ramp. Yeah. And back then I was fishing on an L2. So I always recommend an L4, but I was a young teenager. I was fishing on the smaller board. So I run right through it. And outside of me being wobbly, the board did just fine. And I cut through it. But I get freaked out over bridges because it's just so much going on.
Yeah.
But and then we ran through the storm, and it's still about like 2 footers, and I'm running through the rain. I got my hat like this, and the shirt going over. I'm just running through
the one eyeball.
Yeah, the one eyeball. I was just looking for logs and stuff because we were on a river. And that was probably one of the spookiest moments, but we got back safe. And then that shark. It's really deep water.
You're not allowed to mention that one.
Well, you see the floating logs down there, and you're like, "Oh no, here he comes!" And he just comes up from the depths.
He got mad. So, he chased that fish for 5 minutes. You don't see on the video. He just got mad. But oh my gosh, we do crazy stuff. Not afraid of gators. I'm a Florida boy. One of the biggest things we do here is when fishing is slow, we just run through the backcountry to find new spots, new holes. We'll run over fish, but we know to hit that spot in the next trip, you know? Going under a bridge on my belly, clearing this bridge, and I get halfway under and I realize there's a crap load of wasp spiders. That way. But how do you paddle? Like, how do you move? You're letting the current take you under the bridge. And that was wow. So it wasn't really a water terrifying experience, but I'm not a spider.
I'm uncomfortable.
That is terrible.
And I can deal with we live on a little farm with horses and black widows everywhere and stuff. Like I can deal with that. But but like big, like daddy long legs kind of leg. Yeah, that was creepy. But I got under it, I got under it. I just held my, so.
I just only see the color purple now after I've been bitten.
Yeah, that is so absolutely a lot of people's worst nightmare.
Yeah, we'll buzz gators. Yeah, we'll be on like Hillsborough River and stuff. We'll buzz gators all the time, whatever. Like
no big deal.
He had a bull shark in the shallows because they would go back to and lay and spawn and stuff and circle his board for 5 minutes and look at his dog one time years ago. But other than that, spiders. So
a few crazy Costa Rica stories too. But we sent down 4 boards down the 4 corners, and we're fishing off of this like cove area, and it's these crazy coral reefs. It's like 100 feet or something, and these coral pillars come up, and there's actually a pirate shipwreck out there from when they tried to get up in there and they hit it. But anyway, these waves will hit those corals, and you just have random breakers. So I'm out there fishing, and I just roll right over it, and I'm like, we gotta cut it here because it's getting a little rough.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
I feel in danger. Yeah, that's nuts.
So.
Love it. Paul, what about you, man?
I have no idea. I had no idea. I came up with the question, and I do not have an answer.
Paul ain't never scared.
I don't feel bad.
I'm trying to.
I feel like you shat your pants at the whale probably a little bit.
That was that was probably the most surprising thing that's ever occurred. I will say I was not fishing, but when I was younger, we used to do the Au Sable River float all the time. So we were kayaking the Au Sable, but it was like early in the spring, and in the spring it can get, when the water's cold and if there's a lot of snow melt, the water will just flow into that, and you'll have random weeks where it's just the current's super strong. And I got tipped in a sit inside paddle kayak, and I'd like squirmed out underwater, but we were moving, and there's an elbow, and so it was like this massive jumble of sticks. I popped my head up, instantly got bashed by the kayak because it had run up against that pile of sticks straight under it. And then I opened my eyes, and I'm looking up, and like there's light peeking through all the sticks, and I'm like, oh God, I'm done. This is how it ends now. And I had to like crawl out of it. And then the kayak was like so jammed in there from my face smacking into it. It took me like a half hour to get it, because there was like a log wedged inside the into the cockpit, because it's a sit inside.
Yeah.
And the current was pressing it so strong, it took me like quite literally a half hour to get out of it. So that was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, I think, on the river, like in the water.
Yeah, it's a terrifying moment. I'm kind of similar. Like, I haven't had enough, like, lots of surprising scenarios, lots of like sketchy scenarios, but never like pure terror. Probably the only time was the dam, right?
I was about to say the dam. That
it was. I dropped a Hobie Pro Angler into a dam that was running like
a lot, like full tilt.
And like what I
did remarkably well for the first 4 seconds. Everything after that moment was an absolute nightmare.
What I didn't realize is when it's running full out and the currents like combine, it actually pulls you in. So I was like, I'm learning about hydrodynamics now. So I popped in, I get pulled right into it. I'm like, this isn't good. So I'm paddling like the fin drive, the Hobie Pro Angler fin drive, as hard as I possibly can.
Not speed heavy.
No. And somehow got out of that. And then basically all the current was mixing on the little islands that were all around there. So I got caught in a cross current, and it just shot me into the overhanging trees. I had like 6 rods up in the back. I had the power pole on, and like I was just wedged, and all the rods were like bending this way and that. Like, didn't lose any at that moment. Lost one later to a tree, but
what a day.
It was definitely a terrifying moment, I would say. Well, that was fun. Let's go to the opposite of that. What's your dream fishing trip?
Because you guys get to fish a whole bunch, and you catch a ton of species. So what? I'm curious, like, when you think about like, hey, I had the money to blow, and I'm gonna go do this crazy trip, like anywhere, what would you do?
GTs.
Yeah.
That's my
hey, I might get to go fish for now. Granted, it's in Hawaii, it'll be from shore, but I got a good shot at catching some GTs, and that is, I got a lot of time to do it because we're for like.
I have a guy that catches sailfish on a board.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, GTs chasing them down in skinny water, because right now we chased on massive cobia, and if you've ever caught a cobia, they go nuts. Yeah, and they just scream, and they just never stop. And that's fun in our local area, but But man, imagine a GT.
That's
on a paddleboard.
It's crazy. Kill sharks. Like,
I'm gonna try and do it from shore. They call them papillo, and I don't know if they're big or not, but they're there, and that's like one of the pretty common fish that you can catch from shore.
We have a charter that's switching from his I'm gonna say the name, from his kayak lineup to two. He has 2 of these from us right now.
Really?
He's in Hawaii. He does charters on these. And
what island?
Gosh, not the main.
When are we going?
One.
Because if it's Maui, I'll be there.
Yeah,
and I have a car.
Yeah, go through our page. You'll find it on our Instagram page because we've, blue board back of his truck. Yeah, I got 2 shipped up to Hawaii. He kills it. Massive wahoo he's holding up off the boards. And again, pedaling off the beach, you can only go so far. But what if you get a report that the wahoo are 5 miles away? Now he can just rip it with a 6, get there, and just drop down, and the dude catches everything. We have a guy in Mexico. We're going to start doing Mexico trips with him. We're about to drive down a bunch of boards. My dad has a little place, and that for all SUP Custom customers, we're going to start in Cancun and then fish down into Belize, and just road trip style. So we'll get into different fish. But GTs would be. We have a lot of guys do bonefish in Miami off these and stuff, but. Yeah, I just couldn't imagine just a monster on this thing, just yanking you around.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. It's been GTs and bonefish have been on the list ever since that Yeti video dropped 3 years ago.
Oh my God,
you guys,
that video went.
That was my video that inspired me.
It went so hard. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
The edit, crisp, the music. Crisp, the catches
so
crisp.
I don't love Yeti by any means, but they pour so much money into their marketing materials, and
the media.
That video, literally, I watched it and it instantly changed my DNA. My entire outlook on life changed.
Well, I didn't even know what a GT was until I saw that video.
They're just whipping flies and they got these torpedoing everywhere, and they're like, "Oh, the travel was crazy, and I had my Yeti Panga or whatever." No one cares. Show me the GTs.
I had ICAST. We're about to send 4 down to Australia that puts them on a big massive boat and go out to GTs. We're about to send next year 4 boards to Bahamas, get the Grand Bahama, and just get on it. So that's all coming next year. So anyone, check out our, just follow all of us. You'll hear it. You'll see it. We're gonna start building a pretty cool community. We'd like other people to come with us, but we all put in the ramp, and I won't see you for 8 hours because you just can't cover the ground I cover, and you can't keep up. So we kind of has to be all SubCustoms.
I need you to get one.
We need to train.
Dude, that's so true. Though. It's kind of like the thing with the new canoe where people are like, yeah, but if you can't take a transom mount and your hull's not designed for a transom mount motor, there's if you have a gas motor, you could do 1,000 times more than even an electric because it's so much more power. And it's
oh, sorry.
No, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And when we say that, we'll pick up together and we'll run 8 miles to find the fish because we're in a dead zone because we just guessed wrong. We'll go 8 miles and all of a sudden we'll get into schools of 200 redfish or so. Just there they are. We found them, and then we'll fish there all day.
Jesus.
So there's just that's what we wanted. We just searched and searched and searched for that goal of just literally, being limitless on a kayak-like vessel. So
that's sick. Well, I love it. Dream trip for us now, Paul. What would it be?
No, that's my answer is GTs too, for 100%.
Schedule a trip.
Yeah, it's definitely it's top tier. I would say another one for me still, I've mentioned on the show before, is the Amazon. Just going for Arapaima and giant peacock with those Chapo baits that they use.
Giant peacock,
rip the rod. I want to do that.
Crocodiles.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool too.
That's one thing we're terrible. We'll do gators all day long, but when we went to Costa Rica, I won't do cut. I told them, I said, you put us in wherever you put us in. I don't want to be anywhere near a crocodile on these on these boats.
Yeah. I say bring them on, especially those one. Have you seen the videos where the crocodile puts its paws up to look like a human that needs help? It starts tricking people to come out to it.
No,
not gonna fall for that.
Not today, Satan.
What today?
That would have been the scariest moment would be if I see when you see those
Crocodile,
18,
yeah.
like when you see, I can see a big gator all day long. I don't care. But when you see those massive crocs, it does something to your soul. You're like, you just
'Cause they're
feel like you're
psychopaths.
I've been
so weak.
humbled.
I mean, they're just so big, and they just look at you like, yeah, just get close enough.
Yeah.
What's up,
we
snacky
have
boy?
to come halfway out of the water. We will
Yeah.
get you.
Yeah. Ridiculous. All right. Last one, we're gonna jump out of here, you guys. So first of all, chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And thanks to David and Austin from SUP Customs for hanging out with us as well. Last one for fun. This is an interesting one, Paul. I really like this question. You don't usually write good questions. This is a good one.
What? I write all the questions.
Yeah, and they're mostly bad, but this one's good. All right. So have you ever walked out of a movie at a movie theater? So you go to the movie theater and you're like, this is so bad. I don't care that I spent $87 to get here. I'm out. Have you ever done that? And if so, what movie?
Oh God.
I think it was a Marvel movie.
Oh, really? Which one?
Like
Eternals.
Brand new ones last year, and I'm like, this stinks. I'm not watching this.
Like his
anymore.
generation, he's like, what's a movie theater?
Yeah. True. We used to go all the
you
time.
just aged yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
We are older. We are 37 and 38. So
Yeah.
Now, if I get with where I'm at, if I don't like the movie, it's a great time to take a nap. I never get a nap. So
there you go. You stay asleep. Your investment was to sleep in the theater. All right.
After college, like when I first got out of college and I was playing like rugby full time, you would in summers in Minnesota, it's like liquid air. It's miserable. So you play rugby for like 9 hours in like August on like dirt pan. You are deceased. You go to sleep, you drink and you party because that's what you do. Then you go to sleep. And then Sunday, what I would do is I had crappy air conditioning in the city. I would walk through the liquid air to the train. I would take the tram 45 minutes out to the Mall of America. I would go all the way to the south side of the Mall of America to the top floor. And they had like a full service movie theater. I'd buy 2 tickets back to back, whatever was playing in that theater. I was watching it. And I would sit in the air conditioning with like the most massive water and the most massive Coke that you could have. And I would ask for like 4 hot dogs and I would soak up air conditioning and sleep through both movies straight.
Imagine if it was actually
Yes.
It's $100 nap.
I've never. Okay, you ever get a massage and you're like miserable after? Imagining having double the duration, better air conditioning, and no miserable feeling afterwards. It was the most relaxing thing on planet Earth.
That is absolutely bonkers absurd.
Pre-kids, pre-marriage life is
on our
insane.
boards. It's nice having that flat deck. We'll lay out and just chill.
That's
we'll
a
take a
different
nap.
kind of nap.
Take me out.
It's 8 feet of marine mat on top of it. Like it's comfy. We'll take a nap.
A little sun nap. I'll take it. Wow. Those are good answers. I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie because I'm frugal. If I spent the $70 to be there, I ain't leaving. I don't care how bad that movie is. I'm staying. That's it.
We had been partying and we went to the movie theater. This was like, I forget how young I was, but we went into, I think it was Calendar Girls, not knowing what it was about. So I went off like, yes, it's like an old lady, like Golden Girls type movie. And I had no idea what we were walking into. I find out like 10 minutes in and I'm like, I'm going to make a not very graceful exit. We are not doing this. And
You guys,
that movie.
You guys, hang on. This is Calendar Girls. It is a movie featuring a Helen Mirren, Julie Walters, some other people, basically a bunch of like old lady, popular old lady actors. And it's where they do
like he's quick.
Boudoir. It's boudoir calendar with old ladies. This is what you walked into.
That's what I walked into. That's what I walked out of.
2003 epic adventure. Wow. Wild stuff. All right. Fantastic. Well, it's been a good time tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thanks to SUP Customs, and we'll be hanging out with David and Austin and Suspend's crew apparently as well. And we're gonna go rip around and find out and have a gosh dang good time. G-Fon is concerned for you.
He gets
Paul.
it.
Calendar gross. Paul, why? No. you should have seen that poster that I just showed you was the movie poster. And Paul was like, we'll take 5
The worst
tickets
is
to that,
I sit
please.
through all the preview stuff beforehand too, so it's like 40 minutes just to find out that I'm in a terrible movie.
But back then,
Anyways,
we always had relationships that made us made it worth sitting through anything. So
yeah, you stick it out, man. You stick it out. All right, you guys, that's all we got for tonight. We're gonna take off now. Appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you after iCast. Stay tuned. Chaz, take us out.